Today I wanted to make a quick video about mold hold. What is mold hold? It's kind of what it sounds like. It's a term that's used in the mold illness community to describe this sense of just sort of stuckness that you get when you're in a moldy environment. So lethargy, cognitive fog, executive function issues, even sort of depression, negative thoughts, hopelessness. So, physically you're kind of tired and worn out, and mentally also you're kind of in this almost sort of like helpless state, and the degree of it can vary, but it's a common enough phenomenon that it has a name, mold hold. So the theory basically is that, if you're in an environment with mold, you're breathing in the spores, and if your terrain is susceptible, that mold can actually colonize you, and certain people genetically can't detox mold as well. And so what happens is essentially this organism, it's insidious. That's the word that a lot of people use to describe mold. It sort of insidiously impacts your own biology. The chemical messengers it puts out actually causes those mold hold symptoms I was talking about. And for a very simple reason, basically, it can colonize you better if you stay in place, yeah, it's kind of freaky. And, we've, or mammals at least, have co-evolved with mold for hundreds of millions of years. And so over time, it's kind of learned how to influence us. Mold loves dark, sort of moist areas, and the body has plenty of those. And so I've noticed that when I do get out, I do feel better. I'd like to encourage people who, if they notice that when they're in a particular building or even vehicle, and they're just kind of feeling this general malaise, if you're smelling mustiness, that's a big sign. Sometimes there isn't even a smell. It's not always visible. But taking a little break can help. I hate when people say just move, because I'm not physically able to support myself right now in order to get to a healthier place. But yeah, that's just kind of the quick little summary of what mold hold is. I just want to also just share kind of a personal story. So I've been tested. I have Candida, which is a yeast that grows in the body, and it shows up as a rash on my face. And so Candida causes carb cravings by actually putting out different chemical messengers that your brain then interprets as, I want carbs because the Candida wants carbs, right? And then something really interesting, right? So like my rash, that's just the external sign of the colonization. It's through my entire digestive tract, and possibly other parts of my body. And this is just kind of where it comes out on the surface. But if I even just look or even just think hard enough about carbs, the rash will get actually worse. And I don't know, that just kind of shows you how, a fungal organism can sort of, influence your psychology and your behavior. But how does it work? Heck if I know. I mean, maybe what's happening is, my body is releasing insulin in preparation for, eating sugar, and that's driving more, sugar from my bloodstream into my cells, my tissue, which then, feeds the colonization. Or maybe it's something else, who knows? It kind of feels like it can read my mind, although that might not be the most scientific explanation. But yeah, that's been my experience with it. So yeah, that's mold hold. Peace out, everybody. Talk to you soon.